Hello and welcome to the second day of Developer Days. My name is Frederick Johnson, and it's my honor to present Raj Kamal, who will be presenting NSO NFVO today for you. Raj is a software consulting engineer working in our CX software and automation and orchestration team out of Bangalore, India. Raj has been working with NSO for a good 4 years. So welcome, Raj. And before I hand it over to Raj, I want to tell you that please ask questions either in the chat or in the app, and we'll try to answer those at the end of the session. So again, welcome, Raj. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Frederick, for a very nice introduction. And welcome all the participants, all the listeners in this NSO Developer Days, and the listeners for this presentation. NSO Developer Days is one amazing platform for those having interest in NSO and desire to know about its ever-growing capabilities. So my topic for today's presentation is NSO NFVO. NSO stands for Network Service Orchestration. NFVO stands for Network Function Virtualization and Orchestration. So NFVO has been around in industry for quite some time. Today I'm going to talk about how NSO has built NSO NFVO solution, its ecosystem, next level change it is bringing in the network industry, especially for the service provider networks. So before we begin the presentation, here is a very strong quote. The most powerful tool we have as developers is automation. I thought this quote really matters really means something for this presentation, because NFVO is all about the automation. So agenda for this presentation is I'll be going through some of the network function virtualization terms, one of the standard which is defined by ETSI, which is the MANO architecture. Then I will go through the NSO NFVO solution, which is implemented on top of the ETSI MANO architectures and the standard. And then I'll go through some of the use cases, whatever we have done as part of the Cisco, and some of the real-time scenarios through which we can understand how exactly the NSO NFVO solution works. So here's a brief history of how the NFV has originated. So the concept of NFV originated from service providers who wanted to make adding new network functions or applications easier and faster. So before NFV, we had the network functions. We had different router, load balancers. There were many different network functions which are present in the network infrastructure. So slowly those network functions were virtualized, and this concept of network function virtualization came into the picture. And this step was being taken by the service providers. Later, once the network function virtualization and the infrastructure were getting into use, then a very notable organization, ETSI, which stands for European Telecommunication Standard Institute, was the first major organization to come up with some standards for the NFV, network function virtualization. So I will cover everything, like what are those standards, what are those terms, and then how exactly on those standards the Cisco has provided the NFVO solution. So what is NFV? NFV decouples network functions from the hardware, replacing dedicated network appliances such as routers and firewalls with software running on standard servers. So as I just said before this particular page, that before the network function virtualization, all the network functions were done, and there were hardware present for those network functions, such as routers and the firewalls. So later, those network functions running on the hardwares were later moved to the software standard. And so that is why, if you can see in the picture also, the picture shows some specialized hardware components, and later the software programs here signifies to the network function virtualization. Normally it is called as the VNF. The network functions which runs are called the VNFs, and those are actually the software programs running on the data centers. So VNF is one of the term of the network function virtualization, and I'll cover more of the VNFs later. So why did we need NFV? So with NFV, network functions are virtualized. Multiple functions can be run on a single server. This means less physical hardware is needed, results in physical space, power, and overall cost reductions. Provides flexibility to run VNFs across different servers or move them around as needed when needed. This flexibility lets service providers deliver services and apps faster. So this is basically when you have more hardware, you have more hardware in your network infrastructure, then eventually the cost will rise, and you will require more space, more power, and those things can be reduced once you have the software running only on the one server. So before, there were multiple hardwares for each of the network functions. Now all those network functions are running virtually on a single hardware, and all the resources which are part of the hardware are now getting shared with all the VNFs running on that hardware. And this is how actually the cost and the power and everything gets reduced. And this also provides you the flexibility, so that you want to run, you can add multiple VNFs on the same server. Then you can add multiple server and then add more VNFs on them. So this really helps you in getting the scalability, and also increases the performance. And in eventually it will give you the flexibility where you can deliver all the services and the apps much faster, because all of them are running on the software. And if something is running on the software, you can also manage those software through the automation. So this diagram here is representing the network function virtualization NFV framework. So there are mainly three layers in this framework. One is the OSS BSS, the second one is the VNF domain, and the third one is the NFVI. The OSS BSS is the operational support system, business support system. Sorry guys. Yeah, so OSS BSS is the operational support system and the business support system. So these OSS and BSS are always there as part of the any automation. Whenever you want any of the component or any of the chain of the software which is running on any of the infrastructure, then you always have the OSS and BSS in the front end to control and to manage the components part of that software architecture. So here also in the NFV framework, OSS and BSS plays a very important part. The second part is the VNF domain. The VNF domain is the virtual network functions and the EMS or the NMS. So virtual VNF is the virtual network function. So virtual network functions anyway is the core part of this network function virtualization, where the virtual network functions are the actual network functions or the softwares which is running on behalf of the network function, on behalf of the hardware network function which used to run before as individually as a hardware. Now this element management system, what this means is these are basically responsible for functional management of the VNF, like fault, configuration, performance, security, accounting, this kind of the man to manage all these are done using the element management system or the NMS. So there can be one EM per VNF, or there can be multiple. There can be multiple VNF managed by the one EMS. It all depends. It all depends on that architecture. Then there is a third layer, which is the NFVI. So NFVI stands for network function. NFV is again the network function virtualization here, and the I is the infrastructure. So it is basically the NFV infrastructure. And this is a key component of the NFV infrastructure that describes the hardware and the software components on which the networks are built. So this is describing the, as you can see in the diagram also, that the NFVI part is divided into two parts. One is the virtualization layer, and the second one is the hardware resources. So this just justifies the statement I just made, that this describes two major things. One is the hardware and the software components. The hardware is the hardware resources, and the software components on which the virtual networks are built, basically the VNFs. So it delivers actual physical resources and corresponding software on which the VNFs can be deployed. So NFVI creates virtualization layer that sits right above the hardware and abstract the hardware resources. As you can see in the diagram also, the virtualization layer is on top of the hardware resources. So, and so they can be, so what happens here is the hardware resources are logically partitioned, and then those, and when those hardware resources are logically partitioned, they are provided to the VNF to perform their functions. So like in just sometime a few minutes before, I was telling that how virtual network function virtualization using the virtual network functions helps in increasing the scalability and decreasing the cost with the use of the less hardware, and running more VNFs on top of that hardware. So here those hardwares are ultimately sharing the resources of the underlying hardwares which are present. So yeah, so these are the three main components. VNF. So yeah, so here I'll describe about the VNF. So all this while already been talking about the NFV and the VNF and how the VNF is running on the hardwares. So let's see VNF in a more brief manner. So VNF is a function of the virtualized network function virtualization. One or more virtual machines performing a single network function. Collection of one or more VNFs providing a network service is service chain. It increases the scalability, helps in optimal use of the network resources. So VNFs are like the virtual machines which is performing a single network function. That means, like, if let's suppose you have the network functions like running for the load balancer or for the firewalls. Now you have all those things running as the VNFs, as the virtual machine. So you have the virtual machine, and then those virtual machine is actually performing the actual function of those load balancers and the firewalls in the software manner now. And these virtual machines are again running on top of the server. So you will have multiple VNFs connected together, which will make a service chain. And you can also have only one VNF running on the server, or you can have multiple VNFs running on the same server. So when the multiple VNFs connect together, they kind of creates a network service which runs on the same which will be running on one server and will be sharing all the resources from that from the server. So this slide is talking about the life cycle of the VNF. So when we talk about the VNF can be run, we are talking about like VNF can be run as a software, VNF is a virtual machine, and then and it is always, and when we talk about the network function virtualization and orchestration is all about how to manage how to manage the entire network. And in this case, we have to, in this case, it has to manage the network function, then ultimately it is managing the VNFs. So when you have the management of the VNF, you will have VNF going through a certain life cycle. And here in this diagram, there is also VNFM, which is shown, and ESC has been taken as an example for the VNFM. VNFM is a virtual network function manager. I'll talk more about this later in the slide. So in this VNF lifecycle, any VNF will go through this life cycle. So VNF will be onboarded, then VNF you do the deployment for the VNF, you do the monitoring over the VNF, like checking all the resources and the CPU, memory, then the storage, everything is monitored. Then how the VNF is behaving, whether it is up or down, everything is managed. You do all the monitoring on the VNF. Then you do scaling, like you adding multiple VNFs, adding more servers and adding the VNFs on those servers. Then there is a healing recovery. So VNF, when VNF is onboarded and deployed, VNF is running fine, but there could be a situation that a certain issue can arrive while running the VNF. So in that case, the healing and the recovery of those VNF is also part of the network function, also part of the orchestration, and this is also monitored as part of the life cycle of the VNF. Then you do the VNF updates, and then at a certain time you will undeploy the VNF, and then this cycle continues. So now all this while I was talking about like network function virtualization, then what is VNF, how network function virtualization is helping, and and also the framework of the network function virtualization. Now this slide is talking about the Mano architecture. Like network function virtualization came into the market, and later ETSI came with the Mano standards. So these are what a functional block in NFV architecture stands for: management and orchestration. This basically consists of three functional components: virtualized network function manager, which is the VNFN. So in the previous slide, that VNFM was ESC, and one orchestrator. So NFVO, when we talk about NFVO, so Mano standard says that you have to have an orchestrator, you have to have a virtual network function manager, and then we have a virtual infrastructure manager. These are the three main components as part of the Mano standard. Then the third thing is what managing of those virtualized resources. So what are those virtualized resources? These are like in case of compute, you have machines with CPU and memory. Then you have a storage, network, subnets, ports, links, and rules. All this become the virtualized resources. So these are the standards which the Mano defines, that you have to have all this. These are the three components should be part of part of any of the NVO standard, and then these virtualized resources will also be managed using that using through that entire framework, which is built on top, which is built with the Mano standard. This is a diagram based on the previous slide. So in earlier in one of the slide, I was showing the NFV framework, which contains the OSS, BSS, EM, VNF, and the NFVI. So here you see there are two layers of the diagram where you have one on the right side, one on the left side. If you see, one side is talking about the same NFV framework which I covered in the previous slide, and now you have the other. On the other side, you see we have NFV orchestrator coming in the picture. So this NFV orchestrator is the NFV we all have I have been talking about all this while, and then this NFV orchestrator now has a VNF manager, and then below the VNF manager we have virtual infrastructure manager. So this and then you see SOL 2, SOL 3, SOL 1, SOL 6. So these SOL basically means this is a NFV solution. So this, and through this NFV solution, like through SOL, ETSI Mano comes with the specification and some APIs. The specification tells some of the rules and some models, specify the rules and models through the different version of the SOL. And there are certain version of the SOL available which defines the interfaces through which the NFVO can talk to VNF manager, or you can, or it, or NFVO or a VNF manager can talk to EM, or how. And then there are some certain specification defined using the SOL versions, that how do you specify the models, the models for the NFVO data. So here also, if you see, the network function virtualization orchestrator is sitting on top of the VNF manager. And the communication between the NFVO and the VNF manager, the VNFM, is through the SOL 3. So SOL 3 here is the interface. It provides the interface through which the NFVO can talk to the VNF manager, and whatever lifecycle management VNF manager is carrying out, all those communications will be done using this SOL 3 interfaces between NFVO and the VNF manager. Then in the VNF manager, you can see there are some catalog, VNFD catalog, NSD catalog, NS info, VNF info, NFVO resources have been shown. So VNFD catalog, NSD catalog are the catalogs, or you say are kind of a standard through which a data should be defined. So whenever you have to deploy a VNF, or whenever you are managing the network functions in your network function virtual NFV in your NFV architecture, then what VNFs, then all the details about the VNF, the storage capacity, everything has to be defined in a certain standard. So those things are defined using the VNFD catalog, NSD catalog. Then those the VNF information, the NS information are present using the VNF info and the NS info. And what were the NFVR resources which are part of that particular deployment is also present in that data. So those data are defined either using the SOL 1 specification or using the SOL 6 specification. So again, I'll just repeat this. The SOL defines two kind of things. One is the specification, where is defined the models, and the other version of the SOL, which, for example, here it is SOL 3 and SOL 2, defines the interfaces through which the communications happen between the two layers, which is SOL 2 here for EM and the VNF manager, and SOL 3 between NFVO and the VNF manager. And when we talk about NFVO, so whenever we talk about NFVO, we will always only talk about SOL 3. We will never talk about the SOL 2. SOL 2 doesn't come into the picture when you have the NFVO setup present in your network, in your architecture. I'll talk about more of the VNFD catalog and SD catalog little bit in details, and I'll also show like how do we define the data using the VNFD and the NSD catalog. So here, one more point I'll like to add about the virtual infrastructure manager. So virtual infrastructure manager is responsible for controlling and managing the NFV infrastructure. So when we talk about the NFV infrastructure, NFVI, we talk about the compute, storage, network resources. So all those things will be managed by the virtual net infrastructure manager. So in one of the slide we saw that VNFM, and one of the example for the VNFM was ESC. So I'll just say here, like one of the example I can say for the Vim virtual infrastructure manager is the OpenStack, which will manage the NFV infrastructure like compute, storage, and other network resources part of the infra. Yeah, so all this while we went through what is network function virtualization, then what is NFVO, network function virtualization orchestrator. Then we saw network once ETSI defining the standard, a manual standard for the network function virtualization, and then how exact and the framework for the network function virtualization, like what are the components are present as part of the framework. Now, I'll go through the Cisco solution, for the CTSI NFV architecture. So NFV is a general term, and NFVO it has a standard from the ETSI. So Cisco has also come up with a solution which has implement a solution which is based on the manual standard defined by the ETSI and that is like which is the NSO NFVO. So this is the NSO NFVO, the architecture diagram. So again, this diagram is, if you compare this diagram with the previous diagram which I've been showing, it will just fit in. So the first diagram I showed was the NFV framework. Then from the NFV framework, I showed like NFVO framework, like how NFV and NFVO framework align with each other. And now this diagram shows how NSO takes the role of the NFVO and then align with the entire architecture. So again, this diagram is divided into two parts. On one part, you can see there is a portal BSS, like BSS is always there as part of your NFV framework. Then you have the NSO. So below NSO, you can see the CSR, ASA, F5, all these are the virtual network functions running. And then the NFVI. NFVI again, the component describing the hardware and the software components, which is delivering the physical resources. And then on the other side, you can see it the NSO has been shown as the NFVO. So here NSO is talking to ESC, and then ESC is talking to OpenStack. OpenStack is the Vim virtual infrastructure manager. ESC is the VNFM virtual infrastructure manager, virtual network function manager, and then the NSO, which is playing the role of the NFVO. NFVO means network function virtualization orchestrator. So here NSO, using its NFVO solution, can talk to the ESC and also can talk directly to the Vim, the virtual infrastructure manager, to manage all the so when it talks directly to the ESC, this communication is for the lifecycle management of any particular VNF. And when NSO is directly talking to the Vim, then this is for the management of all the virtual resources which are present as part of the NFVI architecture. So NSO is talking to the Vim, and then the Vim is communicating to the Vim is in contact with the NFVI resources, all the software and the hardware resources which has to be managed as part of the NFVI architecture. So whenever any virtual net VNF has to be deployed NSO, so the call will go to the orchestrator NSO, and which is the NSO here. So in the NSO we have the NSO solution running, which is the network function virtualization orchestrator, which is the solution which Cisco has come up with. And whenever there is a requirement for onboarding of the VNF, or deploying that VNF, or managing anything on that VNF from day 0 to day 1 config to the to day 2 configs. Everything goes through the NSO. So at the time of the management, NSO will just directly talk to the ESC. But whenever the time comes, like you have to configure something in those VNF, then those configuration can be done directly between the NSO and that VNF. So what is NSO NFVO? So Cisco NFVO solution built on the Cisco NSO. NSO manages the end customer specific service configuration and resource orchestration on top of the running virtual machines. This covers both the NFVO and the OSS part. So what this means is, like, NSO is also onboarding the NSO, onboarding the VNF, and at the same time, whenever if any configuration has to be done on top of on those VNF, those configurations are also taken care by the NSO. So NFVO core function pack enables use of MANO compliant VNFD and NSD according to the SOL 6 specification in NSO. Enables onboarding and instantiation of these through VNFM. Resources like CPU, memory, and disk space in virtual compute managed with the resource orchestration function. Further, VNF managed by NSO in the NSO device tree. So this slide is talking about the same stuff which I was just talking about. Like there are total three kind of role which NSO is playing. One is like onboarding the VNF using the VNFM. The second one is second one is managing the resources like CPU and memory using the resource orchestration function, which is present as part of the NSO NFVO. And later, once the VNF has been onboarded, we can add that VNF in the NSO, and then and any of the configuration to that VNF can go through NSO. So the same VNF, whenever it has to be onboarded, it is going through NSO. And if the VNF has to be functional, once you want a VNF to start running, and to start running, for that you need to push in some configuration to the VNF. Those configuration can again be managed by the NSO. And this configuration management of the VNF through NSO will be a direct contact between the NSO and the VNF. In this case, the VNFM or any VNFI won't come in the picture. So from here on, you can manage the day 0 to day 1 to day 2, all the configurations you can manage through the NSO. So this is how basically NSO provides a complete solution for the network function virtualization and orchestration. Apart from managing the entire VM lifecycle, it is also managing the configuration and the configurational part of the VNF, which ultimately holds true for the functions of those VNFs. So Cisco NFVO solution has been proven to onboard simple and complex multi-VM, multi-virtual deployment units, VNFs from over 20 vendors, supporting a broad range of VNF functions, including routing, load balancers, and other security functions. So this is just about giving the idea like where we are as a Cisco NFVO solution. So yes, we are supporting wide range of deployments using the VNF. Already we have done, there are many successful customers also for our NFVO solution. Now the components of NSO NFVO. So there are 4 major components. One is Cisco ETSI NFVO. Second one is ESC NED, which is on the SOL 6 specification. The third one is the SOL 3 NED based on the SOL 3 specification. And then we have the OpenStack NED. So Cisco ETSI NFVO is actually one of the service pack which is present as part of the NSO NFVO solution. So this contains the YANG models according to the manual specification, which is defined under the SOL 6 standard. So this implements the instantiation logic of Mano descriptors on VNFMs and OpenStack. Example, VNF info, NS info. And if there is any resource orchestration functionality, even those are defined in those models. The second one, which is the ESC net. So whenever if you have the NFVO solution and running in your architecture, and you have ESC as part of the VNFM, then Sol 6, then we have the Yang specification present according to the Sol's Yang model present actually according to the Sol 6 specification, and the ESC net has been written, which is part of this NSO NFVO solution. This ESC net contains the Yang and contains all the basic functionality from which helps NSO talking to the VNFM, which is ESC here. So this communication happens based on the Sol 6 specification. So the net has also been written based on the Sol 6 standard. Then there's a third net, which is the Sol 3 net multi VNFM. So one net is specifically to communicate with the ESC, and there is a other net which is to talk with any other VNFM apart from ESC. So this communication happens using the Sol 3 specification. Then we have a OpenStack net, the net for the OpenStack used for the resource orchestration and the features. So when NSO is actually deploying any of the VNF using the VNFM, then the solution will use ETSI NFVO service pack, and then if there is a ESC, then it will use the ESC net. If there is any other VNFM, then it will use a Sol 3 net. And then in case of any resource orchestration, the communication of the NFVO will be done using the OpenStack net. So this is how all these four components sits in the NSO NFVO solution, and that is the hierarchy of the communication which go through to them. So in this solution, ETSI NFVO will always will always sit on the top, and then you will have the other nets present according to the requirement. So this is NFVO alignment. So here this slide talks about the different specification present. Like already we have seen in the other slide Sol 3, Sol 6, and Sol 1. So there are many, as I told earlier, there are many Sol versions like Sol 1, Sol 2, Sol 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. There are many of those specifications present as part of the ETSI Mano standard. But in case of the NFVO, these are the core Sol versions which are used: Sol 3, 4, 6, and 1. I'll just talk briefly about all of them. So Sol 1 talks about the model which has been defined using the Tosca model. So it defined the standard which is basically defined using the Tosca model. And using this model, it has defined some of the NSD, VNFD, everything has been written down, has been standardized. And when you'll go through the Sol 1 specification, it will go through each and every detail, how the NSD has to be written, how the VNFD has to be written, what kind of data has to be part of it, and how those data has to be defined using the Tosca model. So this is what the Sol 1 specification defines. So I don't have here Sol 2 specification mentioned in this slide. As I said earlier, Sol 2 doesn't come in the picture of NFVO alignment. Sol 2 communication happens directly between the VNF and the VNFM. So there is no NFVO present around it, NFVO solution present around it. The talk is directly between the VNFM and the VNF using the Sol 2 interface. So that Sol 2 interface will provide some different kind of interfaces like life management interfaces, performance management interfaces, fault management interfaces, and other different interfaces through which the communication can go ahead. Then there is a SOL 3 specification. The SOL 3 specification defines the interfaces for the communication between the NFVO and the VNFM. So NFVO sits on top of the VNFM, and if any of the management of the VNF is done, NFVO always talks to the VNFM, and then VNFM takes care of onboarding and deploying that VNF, and further managing all the notifications related to the lifecycle management of that VNF. So whenever VNFM do anything, those communication has to go back to the NFVO also. So how this communication will happen, all those standards and all those interfaces and different kinds of interfaces has been defined using this in the SOL 3 specification. So again, the SOL 3 defines different kinds of interfaces like lifecycle management interface, performance management interface, fault management interface, package management interface, and other stuff which are required as part of the management of any particular VNF using the VNF. Then there is a SOL 4 which describes the VNF packaging, like what kind of stuff should be present as part of the VNF packaging, like the contents in that package containing the metadata XML, then about the versionings and all. So it defines all the files which has to be part of any particular VNF packaging service. All those are defined under the SOL 4 specification. Then there is a SOL 6 specification. So SOL 6 specification specifies the YANG models for representing the network functions. So same thing like whatever has been described in the SOL 1, all those NSD and VNFD, whatever has been defined using the SOL 1 with the Tosca model, the same thing, how to define those stuff using the YANG models are present as part of the SOL 6 specification. So that's why whenever any communication happens and any model happens through the VNFM, and any model is written on top of the NFVO for as part of the VNF deployment, so those YANGs are written according to the SOL 6 definitions. Then multi-VNFM, multi-VIM, like NFVO can support multiple VNFM, can support multiple VIM. And then we have ESC, NFVI's, NetConf. So when the talk between the NFVO and the ESC is through the NetConf protocol, the YANGs are defined using the SOL 6, and then the YANG basically contains the data, and then whenever there is exchange of the data happens between the NFVO and the VNFM, that happens through the NetConf protocol. So this is the alignment of the NFVO.
Hey Raj, sorry to interrupt you. You have about 2 more minutes to go on this session. We can go a bit over time.
Okay. So yeah, so this is different NFVO terms: VDU, VNFD, NSD, VNFC, VNFinfo, NSinfo. So these are the various basically the components part of the template which you have to define whenever you are deploying any VNF. So I can't go through much detail because we are less of time right now. So VNF is described using using a descriptor format VNFD. Then VNFD contains contains one or more VDU. VDU actually correspond to one virtual machine, basically corresponding to that VNF, with this VDU contains the connection point which will connect the internal and the virtual connection point link. The VNFD defines everything from the VDU to memory, storage, net type, whatever is part of the VNF deployment, everything is defined here. This is VNF info. VNF info again contains more detailed information about the deployment, like the deployment name, real network, tenant, credentials, everything. So this is the same one of this diagram shows one of the CSR VDU as an example, just on the high level, like and it contains the same content as from the previous slide. And this is one sample model, like what I have been talking about the YANG and how the data looks like. So this YANG here for the VNFD is according to the SOL 6 specification, and the corresponding to this YANG you can see the JSON data, which will go to the which will go as part of the NFVO and VNFM communication. Then we have the NSD. So network service is described using a descriptor format NSD. So this NSD is so this, and what the NSD could do is like it has the multiple. It will have the information about the VNFD. So NSD can contain one or more virtual links, and instead of VNF info, it has NS info, and again, but when it has NS info, but ultimately it will have all the information about the VNF info. So we have this NSD when we are deploying the network service. Instead of deploying one virtual network function, we are deploying a network service containing the chain of virtual network functions. So in those cases, we define NSDs, and again, so this is the diagram representing the VDU CSR and how the NSD is written for that VDU CSR. And yeah, so when you are deploying a network service having multiple VNFs chained together, so this is how NSD model looks like. And as you see the NSD and the NSD ID, then you have multiple VNF ID, and correspondingly there is a JSON data, which is JSON structure, which is the model which is used for the communication with the VNF. Here we have the hierarchy: NFVO, VNFM, VIM, EM. So NFVO taking care of the VNFD, NSD, NSInfo, and then talking to the VNFM for the instantiation of the VNF using the VNF info. And then VNFM will talk to the NFVI. And once everything is done, then you will have the VNF running on your NFV architecture, on the NFV infra. And finally, the day one configuration is managed using the NSO for that VNF. These are the different level of service. Again, this NetCom service, the communication which happens between NFVO and the ESC. Then SOL3 service present as part of the NFVO service, communication with NFVO and for other different types of the VNFM, and the resource orchestration to monitor and allocate VIM resources using the VIM layer. So we have NSO NFVO features lifecycle, which is like VNF lifecycle management from creation to deletion to recovery, and for any kind of notifications which comes as part of the VNFM is managed using the NFVO solution. Then there is a fault management, performance management, package management. All those can be done as part of the NFVO solution. The benefit is again here we are doing the NFVO is kind of doing the complete service, managing from one YANG model using only one transaction from onboarding to deployment to configuration. Then the entire lifecycle management is done for that VNF. We have the fast deployment of the services. Then there are RESTful endpoints for the automation, scale out architecture, and high performance. So I'll quickly go through some of the use cases for this NSO NFVO which we have kind of delivered for the customer. So this is one of the use case of the VPN automation. This life cycle goes like resource gathering, then day 0 spin VNF, day 1 apply config, and then the day 2 activity when your VNF is live and running. So resource gathering is again like you get the management IP, the VLAN, the day 0 files for the VNF, and then you create, and then you spin up the VNF. So you will create the NSD and the VNFD, and as part of the deployment, and you will spin up the VNF. And once the VNF is ready, and this communication is again the same thing like using the VNFM and all. And once this, so NSO is kind of monitoring everything. So once the VNF is ready using the VNFM, so NSO will know through the notification, okay, now the VNF is ready and in the network. So then NSO will apply the config. So all this process will be done automatically using the NSO. So NSO will know that VNF is present, and then it will apply the day one config. And then later on, all the day two related activities are also managed by the NSO. So once the day one and day two configurations are present, then you have the VNF running in the network. This one use case is for the VNF recovery. Again, here we have NFBO, VNFM, VIM, and then the VNF. So whenever there is a fault in the VNF, there is a notification been identified by the VNFM. Then this notification is later communicated to the NFBO. Based on the notification, NFBO will take action. Like it will send some steps to how to recreate the VNF needed. Once the recreation of the VNF is done, then again VNFM will have the notification, the lifecycle management notification, which will again communicated back to the NFBO. So now once NFBO knows that recreation of the VNF is done, then it will get the notifications like VM alive and all. And based on that, it will take further actions. Like it will maintain the data like now the VNF has been recovered, or there can also be a step like once the VNF has been recovered, then again repost a day one config or revalidate the day one config whether the VNF has been recovered with the correct configurations or not. So entire all the process as part of the recovery from VNF going down to VNF coming up based on the notification between the VNFM and VNF and the NFBO is done as part of the one solution in NSO NFBO. So this is one final use case I have. Something we did for one of our customer for the 5G stack. So here using the NSO NFBO solution, we are doing device onboarding, we are doing day one config push, we are doing the upgrade, network function upgrade, day two config management, VM recovery. Everything is done as part of the single solution. So the 5G stack here contains ESC, then you have the VNFs present, 4G, 5G VMs, and then we have then there are different K8s cluster which are managed by the SMI deployer, and on top of that you see there is a UME solution. The UME solution is again talking to the ESC. So the below in the green one, you have the complete mobility solution present. And on top, you have we have the NSO solution with the service pack written under the NSO using the NSO and NFBO solution. So everything, if there is anything has to be managed using the UME, anything has to be done through the ESC on that mobility solution. All those communication and all those management is happening through the NSO. So though UME also can take care of the automation thing, but again, if we separate out UME work and you separate out ESC work and you separate out the SMI deployer work, then it will become a different solution in altogether. Like one application, different applications getting handled individually. So combining all of them are controlled using the NSO NFBO solution. From talking to UME to talking to ESC and managing all the VMs and also the SMI deployer activities. Everything is managed using the NSO here. So yeah, Frederick, that is all from my side.
Fantastic, thank you. Great presentation. So we're a bit over time, but I'm gonna cram in a few questions here anyhow, and Are you okay with people reaching out to you after this? Should they have any more questions?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. So just out of curiosity, what kind of VNFs have you been working with and using this for?
So, like one of the I won't take the customer name right now, but we are using for some of the 5G, 4G, and the 5G stack, and we have the VNF present like SMF and all. Then for the Star OS, those kind of VNFs are present and are managed using the NFVO solution.
Cool, cool. What would you say makes a VNF easy or hard to deploy? Is there any differences between different VNFs when it comes to how hard they are to work with?
It all depends on, like, there are some VNFs for which the nets are already present and which are kind of very common, and we know how, I mean, we know how to communicate with them. But there are certain VNFs which are like in case of the 5G stack, most of the things are running as a container. So these VNFs are kind of new. What I saw in my project right now, and which were little complicated, but eventually we made it. We made the communication successful using our NSO and FVO solution.
Cool, cool. So having a NED is a requirement for managing the VNF as a device. That's correct, right?
Having a net is not only for the VNF, but it is for the NSO actually. So whenever NSO has to talk about has to talk to any of the end device, it do using the net, whether it is VNF or whether it is any physical device, it will always do using the net. So whether this VNF is on the netconf or whether there is a CLI device or any netcom device, everything whenever NSO talks with those devices or the VNF, there will always be a net between the NSO and the end device, physical or virtual.
Got it. Through what northbound interfaces have you integrated NFVO to other systems?
Pardon, didn't get you.
So what northbound interfaces of the of NFVO NSO have you been using to integrate with like OSS BSS systems?
Some things are already going on, like we already have BPA and stuff for the northbound, which talks to NSO, and further activities can be done through the NSO. And then NSO also provides you the UI, and then you can also write your Python scripts, which we have done in our case in one of our solutions, where and then even the customer already has some portal present, and they can make REST calls to the NSO, and rest of the things can be taken care by the NSO. So it all depends on the engagement. Cisco also has a solution. Customer can also provide there, and we are very flexible in connecting to the customer's portals also.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you. Do you know on top of your head what VIMs we support?
So right now we are supporting OpenStack. In my project, means I have worked on the OpenStack right now.
Okay.
So there can be other VIMs as part of the net is only present for the OpenStack as part of the NFVO solution. Maybe as we go ahead, we can have a net which can talk to a generic VIM like we have for the VNFM.
Got it.
Let's see that.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you again very much. Great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.